What's up? What's up? It's your boy Levelhead back with another Live and Level Gamer. Super late podcast. I don't know. Look, man. I had everything booted up. I'm sitting up here pulling up Discord. I'm trying to get my Studio One synced in. Had a little delay in my audio. And my computer just said error and rebooted. And it's a lot of steps. I got to load up Studio One again. And Studio One now wants me to sign an agreement that I haven't had to sign in 10 years. I don't know. Well, at least 7. But anyway, we here, man. What's up, Keith?
What up? What up, man? They just added all the Donkey Kong music to Nintendo Music.
Man, I don't care about no Nintendo music, man. You ain't talking about no Nintendo music,
man. That Nintendo music gotta go hard.
I don't have it. I don't have it at all. What's up, Nia? What's up, Comic Book Crunch? Who else up in here? What's up, Keith Norris?
That's funny.
What's up, Levelhead? I apologize, man. As y'all can see, my thumbnail is different. I don't even know where that came from. It's weird. It's never been like that. When I say all this just kind of just happened, it happened. But we here. Sony sued over no disc. We're going to talk about that. Capcom says the RE engine is perfect for Switch 2. We'll talk about that. Keith had an interesting topic that I think we need to talk about. Should studios focus more on AA games? We're going to talk about the Dust Bloods, beta, Sony should follow Nintendo. That's what Digital Foundry Rich Ludbutter said. So we got a little bit to talk about on tonight. What's up, man?
What's up? I'm going to call you out on something right quick. It's
Go ahead.
Dusk. It's Dusk Bloods, Dusk Bloods beta test.
Oh, it's Dusk. Well, we can fix that. Okay, let me fix that right now. You know, since you in the correcting mood, let me correct myself.
I just want the people to know we know what it is.
All right, that's on me, you guys. It's on me. I got it wrong. I put Dust Bloods instead of Dusk Blood. So let me correct this really quick, and then we'll get into it. I don't want y'all looking at the pie like they don't know the name of the game. Thank you, Keith, for letting me know. All right.
For sure.
All right, hold up. Give me a second, yo. I'm about to fix this in real time. I'm about to fix this real time.
Hey,
don't judge me. Don't judge.
Shout out to Dark 301. He over there playing the Goaty. He playing the Goaty right now.
Oh, he playing 007?
No, Pragmata.
Oh, I thought he was. Oh, okay. We'll talk about that in a little bit. All right, let me do this. Let me do this. So yeah, man, I had some struggle. I was on Struggle Central today. I don't know why, people. It happens to me out of the blue every time. This is not the first time, and it for sure won't be the last. But does that look better, Keith? Does that look better? Does it say Dusk Bloods now? And I'm gonna fix I'm gonna fix my thumbnail on the actual pod as well. I'll fix that later. So it's Dusk with a K, not Dust. Dusk as in it's starting to get dusk outside. My bad. I was rushing. So count it to the mind, not the hot. But anyway, no K-Bum tonight. Keep K-Bum in your prayers. He has a family situation. Everything seems to be safe. He has a family member that's having a surgery, so he wanted to be there. I let him explain when he's here next week. But we not going to have him on tonight. I was thinking about letting Nia jump in if she wanted to, but I didn't get it out to you in time. But she always welcome. She almost welcome.
Hold on. Somebody at my door. Hold on.
All right. But anyway, man, we got to talk about all this on tonight. Sony got sued by Mexico and a few others. Capcom is talking about the RE engine and how it works and fits well with the Switch 2. We're going to talk about studios should focus more on AA games. I like this topic. I think it's going to be a good topic. Then we're going to talk about the Dust Buzz beta. And then we're going to talk about should Sony follow Nintendo. This is something that I'm going to have to pull up because Rich of Digital Foundry said this. So how many, Alan Steve, welcome to the show, man. Apologize for the lateness. I apologize. But anyway, with that being said, Keith had to go answer the door. So how y'all feeling in the comment section, man? How y'all been? It has not been a lot of news, a lot of happenings in the gaming space. Sony still seems to be taking up most of the conversation around the no disc situation, man. She said, I can jump in. I'm on. Okay, come on and jump on in, Nia. I'm going to send you an invite. Hold up here. Let me send, Keith, send Nia an invite. Let me see. I don't know if I can. Let me see. There she is, Miss Nia. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show.
Oh, Nia jumped in?
Yeah, she jumped in. She already had the link. That's how you know. What's going on here?
What?
I did something. I got to figure out what I did. All right, there it is. All right, so I didn't have to do anything. Nia already has the link because she's an honorary fourth member of the Live and Level Gamers podcast. Well, it's the truth, Nia. I'm not lying here. So welcome to the show, Nia. How you doing on this evenings or this night?
I'm doing just fine. I'm sorry that you were having technical problems. You know, I'm on summer break. I'll be looking forward to Thursdays during the summertime, especially because I ain't doing nothing else. I'll be waiting for y'all to go live.
Man, Nia, I'm sitting here. I have it all booted up. I got everything ready to go. I'm just sitting here trying to get my sound to stop doubling on my Studio One. And I guess it was like, you know what? Let's just call it quits and start all the way over. I said, not right now. We got 20 minutes. I got 10 minutes to get on this thing. So that's why I was like, let me go ahead and let them know. I'm having some problems on this side of the world, so we'll get here. But how has your day been, ma'am?
So far, so good. I can't complain. Just getting my mind ready for the school year. It's coming sooner than later.
you sound like my wife. My wife, I got 3 more weeks, and I'm going to enjoy every moment. I don't care. I've been working. You've been up here sleeping in the bed.
You gotta make her 3 weeks. You gotta make her 3 weeks and great. What you talking about?
She need to make my 3 weeks great. I'm still working. I'm clocking in Monday through Friday. She looking at me like I ain't doing nothing. I ain't studying her. I ain't studying Miss Level. She go back to work in 3 weeks. Go back to them kids. Come back home with that headache. No, let's Lord forgive me. Lord forgive me. But I feel sorry for y'all having to go back off of your summer break and having all that freedom. But anyway, y'all ready to get what you been gaming on?
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what time it is? It's time for What Have You Been Gaming On? Sing it, folks. Let's go. Let's go. Hey. What you been gaming on? 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 Gaming on, gaming on, gaming on. All right, because we are behind time. We don't have that many topics to talk about tonight. We can take our time. So who want to go first? What have you been gaming on? Go ahead, Keith Norris.
And I said ladies first.
Ladies first. Go ahead, Miss Nia, the video game her.
Honestly, I really haven't been playing a lot. But recently I have actually been playing well, of course I've been playing Star Fox the online here and there. I'm also currently playing through the campaign a third time because I'm trying to get the real ending, but Venom 2 is like kicking my behind. So when I get frustrated trying to get through Venom 2 and dying and dying and dying, I'll move on to the online. Um, but here recently, I've actually decided to go back a little bit through my backlog. So I have recently picked back up Pragmata, and that was a quick nope. And
now,
it's not because,
why is it no on Pragmata?
well, it's not because like the game is bad or anything, but I'm a coward, and I was on one part, and the
Wow.
enemy was a little too creepy for what I was willing to handle at that time. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna try this again another day when you know what I'm saying, when I got a little bit more,
Your nerves is better.
confidence about myself. I couldn't do it. But I will get back to it. I will get back to it. But something else that I've also been playing, I've decided to go back to Cyberpunk. I actually bought Cyberpunk when it first came out on the Switch 2. And I played it for a little bit, and then it immediately went into my backlog because that's what happens to me all the time. Like, I'll buy a game, I'll play it for a little bit, and then it goes immediately back into my backlog. And then I've also had a chance to play um, Red Dead Redemption on the Nintendo Switch 2 as well. I actually played that for quite a bit the other day. But yeah, I really haven't been playing a whole lot, but that's what I've been playing recently.
All right, all right. Hey, every week we can't get it in like we want to all the time, but that sounds like some gaming to me. Let's go, Mr. Norris. What have you been gaming on, sir?
Same, same for me. I haven't really been gaming on much, but I still been gaming on Chronos using GeForce Now, even in the house. I'm playing it on my TV
Okay.
using GeForce Now. I feel like I'm getting close to the end. I've been putting in some hours on that game, man. That is a really good game if you like those Dead Space, Resident Evil, slow pace, horror action games. Definitely really enjoying that. And I haven't really been gaming on too much anything else other than that. I did buy a game, and I'm gonna keep it a secret like K-Bon.
Man, look, look.
So
Nah, we not doing that no more, man. We
one,
don't do. Everybody trying to stay on this secret stuff. What you got,
yeah,
brother?
yeah. So once I'm done with Chronos, I'll probably pick it up and start playing that. But and of course, we know Splatoon Raiders is coming in as well. But there is one other game that I got a chance to play
Okay.
over the weekend. I had never played this game before. It was my first time ever playing this game, and take a guess. Just take a guess. I never played this game before. Just take a guess. It's a Nintendo game.
It's a Nintendo game that you never played before.
Yeah, I
Is
want to
it
see
a
if you can
old?
figure
Is it
this.
retro?
It is now.
It is. Okay, it is now.
Yeah,
Okay, okay. Can I narrow it down to a system?
sure.
Is it 64?
No,
Is it Game Boy?
no.
Is it
Last one. Then you got to guess.
Super NES or GameCube?
You just threw in two. No, no. Neither one of those.
NES.
That's the last one.
Is it NES? I need to know. I can't. I'm not going. There's too many games to be all those.
No,
Since
it's
I need.
it's it's not NES.
It's not NES, so it got to be Sega. Okay,
It's a.
so
I'll say it's a party game.
Rhythm Heaven.
No.
Now I don't know. I can't
Okay.
guess.
Nintendo Land.
Wait a minute. Slap yourself. Hold up. I said GameCube.
That's not on. That's on Wii U.
Oh, it sure is. You never played.
Yeah,
You never played Nintendo Land.
I never played it.
Oh man, Keith, your card is almost revoked. What are you
I
talking
didn't have
about?
at that time. I say I don't have nobody to play with, but I really didn't have nobody to play with. But I
Mia,
did
do
get a
you
chance.
hear this? He never played Nintendo Land on the
She know.
infamous Wii U. Oh, she know.
She know.
Okay.
She know.
All right. Okay.
Uh,
Nintendo Land is
Ah.
okay, man.
yeah. So yeah, I got a chance to play all the games, and I can see the magic. And I wouldn't be mad at a new Nintendo Land if they wanted to do so. I don't know how they could do it now because I think the added screen was definitely missed going into the Switch. But I had fun. I had fun. Nia, you want to say anything about that?
Yeah, there's a lot of games that are like dependent on the Game Pass. So if they did decide to make another Nintendo Land, they would really have to tailor it to the Switch somehow. I mean, like I guess if they wanted to, there might be some kind of way for them to put some of those games behind maybe game share. Like for example, what's something that you needed a gamepad for? Like, for example, you needed a gamepad to play Mario Chase, for example. So, like,
Oh
maybe
yeah.
if they were to bring it over, they could make it to where, like, certain games are game share only. I feel like they could be generous and make it to where, you could play the game with one, cartridge or
One.
whatever,
Yeah.
and somebody could play on well, how would that work?
Well, they can do it
I
like
mean,
this.
they could
Some of those
have their
games,
separate view. You say
yeah,
what?
they could probably do like the game where you chasing Mario. They can do that game share. Like they like literally, if you got another person with a Switch in the house, you could do a game share and do it like that. Where
Fair, because it is possible to see. Because I remember one time me and Keith played. What did we play through Game Share? It was three.
Toad.
Oh
3D
yeah, yeah, and Captain Toad as
Captain
well. So
Toad.
like we game shared that game because um I had a copy and he didn't, and so we game shared it together. And what he saw was different from what I saw. So I guess if they did bring Nintendo Land back, if they wanted to like remake it or like just bring over a port or whatever, they could find some ways to do it because I mean there are some games on Nintendo Land that you have to have more than one person to play anyway. So
Mhm.
I'm sure they could figure it out. But I definitely think that Nintendo Land, I guess because by the time the Wii U came out, people were like over. I'm
The
not trying to
screen.
take too much of your time, Keith, but people were kind of like over like mini game collections. But I really do feel like it was a slept on. That was a slept on series, I think.
I think it was slept on, but it was Nintendo really just it was just out there by itself with nothing else really to play that was
Hmm.
worthwhile.
That's true.
You had Mario, New Super Mario, and you had Zombie U, and none of those were. I would say Zombie U could have been killer had it had a little bit more than what they was offering. That was one game that used to just man, you talking about making a brother stop and quit. When I had to go through the backpack and you literally looking at the game pad, searching through your backpack, and but you still vulnerable. I couldn't do it. I could never get comfortable enough with that game. But I just think what was the game?
Nintendo
Nintendo
Land.
Land.
Nintendo Land just I don't know. It was a good game. I thought the Metroid game on there was dope.
Yeah, that was
Uh,
fun.
my wife used to like playing the Yoshi game on there where you had to kind of draw the lines and try to follow the path without seeing it. I thought the Luigi one with the ghost was cool. Zelda, it could be cool, but it was just too. I think they were trying to capture what they did with the Twilight Princess little gun shooter game that they had for Zelda, but not being able to actually control and move Zelda kind of took it away. I felt like F Zero sucked on there.
Wait, I don't think I played that one.
Yeah, F Zero sucked.
Or did I?
F Zero was trash on there. What else was on there? I ain't played that in so long, man.
I thought the Zelda one was pretty fun. I liked the Zelda one,
Yeah, the
honestly.
Zelda was cool. It just because you couldn't move yourself, it was like, man, I
Mhm.
wish I could move. And I think the ninja game on there was dope too.
Yeah.
The little ninja star sweep. But I mean, that was an ambitious system, and they had a lot of ambitious ideas that I wish they could have realized because it only works with that setup with how the gamepad worked with the TV. The Switch don't work like that. Go ahead, bud. Go ahead, talk, Keith.
That was it. That was all the games that I played that I can remember this week. So so it's your turn. Oh, is he stepping away?
No, I didn't step away. My wife was
Oh,
talking to me, and she's more important to me than y'all are right now.
as she should be.
Mhm.
As she should.
ah, ah, don't judge me, y'all. I gotta go upstairs with that woman. I gotta see
I
what
would
she
I
want.
would judge you if she wasn't.
But anyway, so okay, it's my turn. It's my turn. I'm be so behind. I'm like kind of all over the place. So I got a little bit of gaming in on this week. Yes, I did. So let me get the usual. Let me be K Bun for tonight. Let me get the use out the way. Um, I've been on that pragmata, and as I said, Keith, I am at the final boss, and she is hard. She is.
You ain't beat her yet?
No, I have not beat this girl yet. She's like, um, you don't understand what he wanted me to do, so I must eradicate. Man, she when she transforms, oh my god! And I got a sneaky suspicion that there's more than one transformation here. Am I wrong on that?
I'm not gonna ruin the game for you.
No, please do, cause I need to know. Go ahead. Is it another transformation after this
Eh,
transformation?
Not necessarily.
Oh, okay. Then I am. Then I go okay. Cause this is hard, and I'm like, look, this is just as hard as the last boss on Metroid Prime to me. So this is gonna take me a little bit. It's really not hard. It's just they asking you to do so much, and she is not like anything I face because you really can't dodge a lot of what she's trying to do, and I can't
Hmm.
lock in on her like I want to. I want to lock in and be able to focus on her as I'm moving around. Unless I forgot how to lock on, I'm not locking on to this girl. So that's another thing that's causing me issues. I need to just figure out how to lock on to the character again because I'm jumping in and out, so I'm not playing as consistent as I usually do. Um, but yeah, so I'm on the final boss there. I should be done. I should be done with that before I go on vacation next week. So, that's another thing. We'll be on next week, but the following week I'm gonna be on vacation. Um, so I played Pragmata. I also played Assassin's Creed Shadows. And I'm back into this game, Keith. I'm back in Assassin's Creed Shadows. And let me say this, man. Anybody that tells you that these games are not serviceable on the Switch 2 is lying to you. These games look good. Now, these games look excellent on the Switch 2. I said it to the guys in the chat, and I may have said this last week. I don't know. I can't remember. That I have not felt like I've missed any. Yeah, I said it in the chat. I don't feel like I've missed anything choosing to play on the Switch 2 over my PlayStation 5. Now, I know, and welcome to the show, Matt Jazz. I see you there. I know that the quality of visuals are not on par or not equal to the PlayStation 5. But I'm going to say this, man. I was just playing Assassin's Creed Shadows, and I just be stunned at how visually stunning this game looked. Like how Yasuke armor, how the light and the reflection and the shine and the gloss is just popping. The draw distance, the stage design, the graphical realism, and all that, man. I know that there's a better experience, or it's going to look even better on the PlayStation 5, but I don't feel like I'm missing anything. When I was playing through Pragmata, and I just sat back and like, man, this game is a beautiful game on the Switch too. It looks amazing. It looks freaking amazing. And I know it looks a little bit better on the PlayStation 5, maybe in some ways way better. But all in all, visually, I have not felt like I've missed anything that I've chose to play on my Switch 2 over the PlayStation 5. The only game that I may say that I think is clearly just I may have should have got it on the PlayStation 5 was Outlaws. But even Outlaws still looks amazing on the Switch too. But I played it on PlayStation 5, so I know that it looks better. And I think the ray tracing, and I think that's an early game, but I think as they have learned the system more and more, these games are starting to look really, really, really good on the Switch too. So I don't feel like I'm missing anything. So when James Bond when Goldie comes, Nia, I'm going to be on the Switch too. I'm glad I waited. I'm glad I waited. So anyway, let me keep going. So I played Street Fighter 6 as well. So those are the U's, right? But there's a lot of games I found out that had demos on the Switch too that I didn't know. So I'm gonna rattle these off and then we get into these topics. So the first one I played was Yoshi. Yoshi and the Mysterious Book or something like that. So I'm playing through it, and I'm going to say this, man. Visually, I wasn't as impressed as I thought I would be. This game is not ugly, but this game does not seem like it's taking advantage of what the Switch 2 can do. And that's been a theme with a lot of the first-party titles from Nintendo. It just don't feel like they're actually taking advantage of just how capable this platform is from a visual standpoint. To me, Yoshi leaves a lot to be desired visually. It looked better watching it on the directs, seeing it on screen in your face. It's like it's missing like detail, and that's not a usual thing I say with Nintendo on their first party, especially they anime style. It always seems to pop, even though it might not be overly detailed, overly realistic. It still pops in that anime way that they do it. This game is not doing it for me visually.
It's interesting because this game is using UE5, so
right.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it's not. I don't think it's the UE5. I think it's Nintendo art direction. It's just not as glossy and poppy and stand out. I may need to go in and tweak my my HDR settings and see if that's it. So I'm gonna leave that out.
I'm downloading the demo right now, so okay, I haven't even seen it.
So and then the gameplay is Yoshi. It's Yoshi, and it's a no-ski. It's a no-ski for me. I'm sorry. This game is not worth your time. This game is not worth it. It's just not. It's just turn your brain off. It's no effort. It don't take skill. It's nothing to this game. It's just cute for cute sake, and it's not for me. And I'm like, man, no. So I played that and just deleted that. So the next game I played that I am absolutely shocked at how engrossed I was with this game is Rhythm Heaven. Let me just say this right now. I talk crap. I talk crap about Nintendo starting that direct with Rhythm Heaven. And I still think it was the wrong game to start with. But let me tell you right now, Rhythm Heaven is addictive and fun as heck. I'm getting Rhythm Heaven. I'm getting Rhythm Heaven. Yes, I am. I'm getting Rhythm Heaven. My girls came downstairs and we was playing Rhythm Heaven, and I'm sitting up here laughing. I'm a drummer. So like the timing, and Keith was like, man, the timing, I'm a drummer, so I'm understanding this going on the 1 and the 3 and the 2 and the 4, and it's going double time, half time, off time. And as a drummer, it was really like me doing my sticking on certain songs and how you have to. Yeah. Go ahead.
Hey, yo. No, I was just saying sticking,
Sticking, yeah. Drumming, sticking. What you mean? Sticking. No, we're not pausing. Sticking. Stop it. Leave me be. No, sticking, that's drummer lingo. Your sticks, and when you're getting it in, you're in the pocket. So I'm sitting up here and I'm like, man, this is really pulling on my drummer instinct of the ability to catch the offbeat and the timing and the rhythm. And like it was this one game where you throwing a frisbee and the dog has to catch it on the count of 7. But you don't know, you got to watch the girl that's throwing the frisbee you got to count her timing, and it gives you a subtle hint with notes. It's a 2-note, and then you got to count 7. But what's interesting about it is it lets you see the whole action of the frisbee throw and the dog jumping to catch the frisbee on the count of 7, but then it starts to zoom in where you can't see the dog. So you got to go off of just continue to have the count in your head. It was so freaking, it's so subtle, so simple, but so dope because my daughter was playing it. And she's like, Dad, what's wrong? Like, you're not keeping the count. So I'm counting it in my head, and I'm counting it 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You got to hit it on 7. And once it zoomed in, she lost her count. She lost the rhythm. And so Rhythm Heaven is actually a gem. I'm actually shocked at how much I enjoyed playing that game. That's definitely going to be added. That's definitely a holiday around the TV, family, everybody join in type of game. I'm definitely going to cop that. The other game that I am pleasantly shocked by, and Keith, y'all, you're going to be like, Level, you talk trash about both of you. Y'all know I was done with the 3D, 2D games, right? The HD, 2D, 3D games. Right?
I need an apology tonight.
No, I just did. That's all apology you getting.
No.
So, like I said, Nintendo, and there's a whole bunch of other. Nintendo got a lot of demos up here, and I think Nintendo needs to go back to putting these demos, because these demos are, I mean, they may have lost a sale with Yoshi, but I was never going to buy Yoshi. But Adventures of Elliot.
Let's go.
Is fire.
Let's go.
It's fire. It is absolute fire. This is Zelda. This is the Zelda formula with the over-the-top, what they call that? Asymmetric? Is that what they call it? Isometric? Asymmetric?
Isometric.
Isometric viewpoint. And the only complaint is they can do without the pixelated, trying to imitate the, I guess, Super NES era. That part I can do without the blurriness of but that's a part of the whole art style, so I'm not knocking it. But actually the stage looked so good, and the combat was getting so dope. And this is a lengthy demo. This is not a short demo. So you will really get a chance to get your feel for if this is for you or not. I'm letting you know right now. And it's voice acted too, y'all. I don't have to read a whole lot. Let me say that too. This game is dope. It's basically Zelda. It's Zelda. That's what it is. And it's dope. And I'm here for it. And I think they sold me. It depends on the price. I gotta go see the price. I think they want either $59 or $69.99. I'm not
59.
Yeah, I'm not there yet. But I'm here to co-sign. The game is good, and I might, if it ever go on sale, because I got too many other games to get, and I gotta stay. I'm trying not to go broke, because I'm getting Raiders next week, and then whenever 007 come, that'll be the next thing I get. Adventures of Elliot is dope, man. Adventures of Elliot is dope. I kid you not. I was sitting back like, man, I am into this game for real. And the dungeon layout, the combat system, the storytelling, you can already kind of see the setup with one of the supposed alliances, or one of your allies already let me know, nah, brother, you a protagonist. I can see that. Or you an enemy. I'm just waiting for you to let me know what's going on with you. It's interesting, man. You got your Zelda type, you got your Link type. In the two characters, Elliot is basically Link, and then you got the princess that accompanies her, and she talks all the time, and she's engaging with you throughout the game. It is absolutely adorable. Is engaging. Is fun, and I'm here to co-sign. Hey, that's a hit. So, Yeah, that's what your boy gamed on this week. Bum at the bum. Slap yourself, Yoshi. Get out of here, Yoshi. Yoshi was trash. But anyway, that's what I've been gaming on. So, with that being said, let's get into our topics for this evening or this evening. So, Sony has been sued. I was talking back and forth with Keith in the chat about a week ago, and I said I believe that somebody's going to sue Sony, and we was having a back and forth discussion, and lo and behold, that's exactly what happened. Sony has got sued by two different, I guess, what'd you say, governments, countries?
Say governments.
I think one is Mexico.
It looks like it's countries. It looks like it's well, I'll let you set it up and then we can talk about it.
It's country because one is Mexico and the
But
other one.
it's not the Mexican government. It's just certain lawmakers out of Mexico who have put together a complaint.
Okay.
But yeah, you go ahead and set it up because I'm still trying to do my reading over here.
Yeah, we all my stuff got deleted, so I got to find all this stuff again. so we going off the cuff. But yeah, Sony has gotten sued by entities within the Mexican government. Let's say it like that. And they saying that this no disc approach is anti-consumer. Let me see if I can find it. And me and Keith was kind of talking about what was going to have to happen because our thing was this. We believe that while digital is inevitable, there still needs to be something done with regulating consumer purchases and ownership. So we kind of talked about it last week with K-Bum, and me and Keith was talking about it in the chat, back and forth, like what could be done. One of my ideas was lawsuits. And Keith, one of his ideas was petitioning by gamers for regulation. And we see kind of both happening simultaneously. You see the petition for regulation on customer purchases, and because you just saw Sony with the movie side, I forgot who it was, but it was Sony. I do know that. They literally deleted what consumers had purchased. Like they lost all those movies that they bought on this particular app or platform has been lost. And to me, that is anti-consumer because if you purchasing all this stuff and then you don't know at what point Sony decides that we don't no longer want to host that platform or host whatever you have your movies in. And this happened to me with one of my movie apps. When I go on there to access my stuff, I can't access none of it. It's all just frozen. It says error. And I got the digital and physical version, so it was the digital version that came in the box with the physical version. But still, when I'm on vacation, when I'm in up with the in-laws, sometimes I want to throw in one of those movies and I can't access it no more. And I don't know why. But so let's read this. Sony faces antitrust lawsuit from Mexican lawmakers over its decision to end production of physical games. Lawmakers in Mexico are set to file an antitrust complaint against Sony due to the company's controversial decision to stop printing physical games starting January 2028. Y'all kind of already know all this because we kind of talked about it last week. As reported by Level Up, Mexico's federal representative, is it Iris? Is that how you say that? Reyes? Iris? Reyes?
It is. I don't know how you say it either.
Yeah. Nia, come on, Nia.
Iris.
Okay. I know
I don't
close.
know how to pronounce it either.
Okay. Iris. I'll go with Keith. Iris.
Or you can just do the last name, Reyes.
Okay. And Senator Louis Donald Colasio, okay, thank you, will submit a complaint to the country's National Antitrust Commission requesting a formal investigation into Sony for alleged anti-competitive practices in the game industry. More specifically, Reyes and Coleus, or anyway, argue that this could create a relative monopolistic practice at odds with Mexicans' federal economic competition law by driving up costs, cutting the competition, and destroying the game's making market's infrastructure. So they laying out the legalese up in this. Their complaint seeks answers as to whether or not Sony's decision to go fully digital will negatively impact consumers and other retailers by funneling purchases directly through its own online platform. Now, something interesting about this was Sony used. I've been listening, doing a lot of listening on this stuff. So apparently, Sony back in the day, to keep from being considered a monopoly, used the physical disc. How it went? They used physical disc or something to escape being labeled a monopoly. Now they're doing the opposite. Now I don't know if one of y'all kind of familiar with that.
No,
No.
I remember that. I remember that. I don't know the specifics, but I definitely remember that.
Did I explain that well? I don't think I did, but I don't.
I remember. Didn't K-Bomb talk about that last week?
He
I
kind
think
of
that was
touched on it.
something that he brought up last week.
So anyway, it's funny that some information that they use to keep from being labeled a monopoly, now they are doing it the opposite, and they're going to become a monopoly. So anyway, because they've been accused of that. Well, negatively impact consumers and other retailers by funneling purchases directly through its own online platform rather than allowing physical editions to be sold at other businesses. Reyes, who has become effectively known as Mexico's resident gamer representative, expressed concerns about the future game ownership, arguing that if this disappear, anyone who owns a PlayStation will no longer be able to choose where to buy their games and will be forced to purchase them exclusively through Sony's store. Sony will become both the referee and the player within its own ecosystem. And we know, so they'll be shaking their own hand. And we know what can happen when a single company controls every part of the market. He added. Do we need to read any more of this?
No, I think we good.
All right. So thank you, Nia. I see that right there. You send that to Discord. I got to get used to pulling up stuff on Discord. But go ahead. What say ye on this lawsuit?
Oh man, this is a lot. This is a lot to take in with the Dutch consumer group and then the Mexican lawmakers. Um, what I should have did, and we kind of just got this topic not too long ago. I would have loved to have seen the impact of what Sony's actually the I guess the money or the economy that Sony has in these markets in these areas. Of course, anything outside of U.S. I'm kind of not that familiar with. So for them to be fighting for this, and I think the Mexican lawmakers are calling upon the gaming community, as it says in this article. There must be, I guess, with the retail market, secondhand, so on and so forth. These are jobs, right? So I guess this is going to affect their bottom line. So this is why they're fighting so hard for this. Because in my worldview, it is what it is. But I guess they're looking at it from an economic standpoint of what it does for their economy, and that's probably the position that they're looking from it. Because you wouldn't think that, okay, it's gaming, who cares? But there must be an impact on the economy, right? So I think that's the position that these they're looking at it, beyond 2028 when Sony said that they're going to do this cutoff. So that's what that's the angle that I would like to see. I don't really have much to say because this is a lot. No, right now, this is early stages of the lawsuits. We don't know how it's going to turn out. So yeah, I don't know. I'll just jump back in after, I guess, you level after Nia goes. So
I'm trying to figure out how to pull up what Nia shared with me
Um,
without messing up the.
I can just read it because
Yeah,
I'm
go
a
ahead,
dummy
read it.
and I don't understand any of this stuff. So I have to go read up on it for myself because I
Go
wasn't even
ahead,
aware
cause I can't
that this
pull it up
happened.
without.
So okay, so it seems like from what I'm reading, it seems like there are select lawmakers in Mexico who are filing a complaint um, against Sony because of their national antitrust laws. And so I did a little bit of digging, just a brief moment as y'all were talking. So this is not real deep. So if anybody in the chat catches something that is inaccurate, please feel free to share and step up and say what's what because like this is literally me just doing my Googles for like 5 minutes. So I looked it up and I said, okay, so these lawmakers are coming together and they're putting together a formal complaint because they feel like it goes against some of the Mexican law. So I looked it up and I saw and I went to go find like, okay, what Mexican law exactly do they feel like is being breached? So I looked it up and it is called what did I just say? My bad.
Article
It's
28.
called the National Antitrust Law. So it says that Mexico's federal economic competition law. So this is the specific law, sorry. Uh, or the LFCE regulates monopolies, mergers, and anti competitive practices to guarantee free market access enforced by, sorry, the National Antitrust Commission. So there's a commission of people who are making sure that this law is not being breached. And the law penalizes price fixing, market division, and abuse of dominance.
Mm,
It also requires mandatory pre-merger approvals for large business transactions. And so also when I was looking up to see, okay, so we know, okay, this is the law that they feel like is being breached. What are their concerns? So their concerns are basically these lawmakers are saying that Sony is phasing out physical discs as an act of relative monopolistic practice. So they're afraid that Sony is going to run the risk of running a monopoly over um, physical discs in their country. Um, because they're afraid, of course, of them becoming possibly a monopoly and being the law of the land, basically. And then it says, without physical retail alternatives or a used game market, Sony would hold absolute control over digital game pricing and
mm-hmm.
distribution on a PlayStation platform. Lawmakers also highlight the lack of reliable internet in some regions and the
Yeah.
loss of businesses for local Mexican retailers. And I guess from that little blurb, it kind of reminds me of the complaints that a lot of people had when Xbox was doing their big old buyout. Who was the American I forgot what was the American group that was pushing back on Microsoft or getting them to prove the things. I forgot what that group of people, that organization was called, but essentially it seems like a similar group of people from Mexico are doing the same thing or trying to have Sony prove a similar thing as it relates to them phasing out physical discs. And then I looked up also, okay, so we know what Mexico was on. They're worried about monopolies. Their lawmakers are getting together to file a complaint. It doesn't sound like it's a lawsuit on the Mexican government's behalf. It just seems like a complaint from certain lawmakers who are trying to make sure that their law is not being breached. So I looked up, okay, so what is going on with the people in the Netherlands? So I looked it up and it says that this Netherlands situation is actually a lawsuit that's being proposed by um, a consumer group called, and I don't know the correct pronunciation for this. So if y'all know it, you know what I'm saying, feel free to correct me. Stitching, Massa Shade, and Consummate, SMC, they filed a massive lawsuit on behalf of approximately 1.7 million Dutch PlayStation users. And so, of
Mm-hmm.
course, I'm not Dutch. I don't know what that consumer group is. So I decided to do my Googles and look it up. So I looked it up, and that is a group. Hold on. So the Stitching, Mastershade, and Consummate SMC is a Dutch nonprofit foundation. It organizes class action lawsuits to get money back for large groups of consumers who are treated unfairly by big corporations. And it says that these are some of the things that they have done in pursuit of their goals. So some of their major legal actions include a 400 million euro lawsuit for this is against Sony for allegedly abusing its PlayStation Store monopoly and overcharging gamers. They also had a lawsuit against Klarna. They uh, uh, they organized a lawsuit against Klarna, a 500 million euro claim against Buy Now Pay Later service for allegedly breaking consumer credit rules. And then there's this also one against ABM. I'm assuming that's a
Airbnb.
bank. So it's a collective lawsuit against the Dutch bank. Oh, look at that. It's a bank. Okay. A collective lawsuit against the Dutch bank for allegedly collecting too much interest from small business clients. So they do this. Their organization is built around trying to protect the consumer. And so I guess for me, my takeaway is I think they should. I don't think they're going to win, but I think they should. I feel like if anybody has an opportunity to win, it will probably be the Mexican government. I don't even want to say the Mexican government. I feel like that's a little too strong. There's just certain lawmakers in Mexico who are putting together this complaint, but a complaint doesn't necessarily equal up to being sued. So I'll be very curious to see how this pans out for PlayStation. But I think that how can I say? I for me personally, just thinking about this information that I just processed in 5 minutes. Me personally, I do think there is something to be said about this could potentially monopolize the market. I mean, like we know that Sony is the people who actually are or who do produce Blu-ray discs, and so it's kind of like in their hands whether or not a game maker would be able to print a disc moving forward. I think there is definitely something to be said about um, their potential to monopolize the market and in turn screw over the consumer. I think about what recently happened with Nintendo in Europe. So, for those of you guys who are unaware, Europe also has a certain set of laws about being able to change out your batteries in your devices. And Nintendo had to completely redesign the Nintendo Switch in Europe because of these laws. So I I don't know. But me personally, going back to what I was going to say, me personally, I do think that there's something to be said about whether or not what Sony is doing is anti-consumer. I do think there's something to be said about that. Me personally, I will go out on a limb and I will say I do think that it's anti-consumer. Like, yes, of course, we do know that digital gaming is the future and it's going to be here sooner or later. And my argument is not about whether or not digital gaming should exist. My option is about what my concern is about whether or not options should exist or in this case cease to exist. I do feel like there's something to be said about Sony essentially trying to cannibalize the market and getting rid of the secondhand market. I know there's a lot of conversation out there about ownership and all that stuff. But I feel like all that is valid. If that's you, that's you. But for me, it's more so about the secondhand market. You think about, I'll give you a recent example in my personal life, for example. I recently just rebought a PlayStation 3. I'm not like the biggest collector. I'm not like one of those people who has like a whole wall shelf full of, physical games. I'm a little bit more half and half, but I am the kind of person, I am kind of tactile. I like to hold my games. I like to hold my old consoles. My PS3, my old PS3, my fat baby just died. And I went down to Game Exchange and I bought me a Slim for like $90. And I was playing Starhawk just last week. It was amazing. And I think that when you get rid of physical disc, you get away from that secondhand market and for the people who can't keep up with the latest and greatest. I mean, that was pretty much my entire gaming life growing up. I was never able to have the next new console. I was always a generation behind because I was a little poor kid. And if it wasn't for my grandmama, I would not have experienced my Sega Genesis. I would not have experienced my N64. And it's all thanks to the secondhand market and her for going out on a limb and buying things from garage sales, things like that. And I feel like that's a very affordable option for people. So going back to these lawsuits and going back to these complaints, I think that's what these lawmakers and what this nonprofit group they're trying to avoid. They're trying to avoid a situation to where consumers don't really have as many options as they did previously. And I stand beside them. I stand beside them. I don't think it's gonna go anywhere. But I also do feel like their goals are valid. Their goals are
Justified.
justified. Yeah, like yeah, I don't know.
No, I mean, that's interesting you brought that up. I would say, as far as a Blu-ray concerned, while Sony does own, I think, the patent, I think there is a certain when something becomes I forgot what they term it, but you have what they call copycats or other groups, third party groups that are able to make that same product, even though Sony owns it. So they'll still be able to make Blu-ray discs. They just had to go to third party that are non-Sony outlets to do it. It might cost more than going to Sony directly, because Sony gonna get a piece of that. Whoever's making it, Sony gonna get a piece because they own the patent too.
But the question is, where are they gonna put the disc?
That I don't know, but I'm just saying I was researching that, and they was like they can go to other, but if Sony's not making a disc drive available, which that's what me and kind of Keith was talking about, is it's going to take some legal actions to force Sony to at least make a disc drive optional for those who, because there's countries that don't have the infrastructure with Wi-Fi and all that to really even make this, feasible for them. So if you want some of these countries who doesn't have a strong Wi-Fi or service like that, then and you don't have a way to access via the disc, you up the creek with a PlayStation, right? It ain't nothing you
Yeah,
can do.
that's something that those Mexican lawmakers were like. That's when the one part of their argument too for people who live in like rural like Mexico, like they wouldn't be able to get a hold of those goods. And it also brings back something that you mentioned earlier too about how Sony was forced to sell digital codes in stores. I remember like one minute there were discs on shelves, and then the next minute you turn around, it's a piece of paper with a code in it because they were forced to do so. I feel like if anything does come out of this, it probably won't be a return to form of like mass producing physical discs. It'll probably be what you mentioned earlier in the segment.
Yeah, they gonna
No,
have to.
my issue with this is that we're doing a lot of talking, the Mexican government, everybody's, but you know who's not really talking? Sony. Like they haven't. Those are actual legit concerns. What Nia just brought up, and the Mexican government is saying those rural areas that don't have great internet, or just any other countries around the world that play games that don't have great internet like that. Sony officially addressed how they plan to get around that? Have they addressed that?
No, no,
And
they haven't
I
said
don't like
anything.
the fact that they haven't said anything. So I get why people are trying to jump in front of it, but I also think there needs to be pressure on Sony to be more transparent about what the plan is.
Right.
Okay, you wanna get rid of this. Okay, cool. How do you alleviate these issues? How do you fix these issues? This doesn't work here. You remember when was it Don Matrix who got in trouble for talking about
And that's what
Xbox
that's what they trying to
360?
avoid is the dumb
Yeah,
matrix situation. Go ahead.
they trying to avoid that. So like, and he was like, just play 360. Well, Sony, what is your response to something like that? Well, I mean, nobody liked what Dunn said, but I mean, he gave an answer. It might not have been the one you wanted, but he said something.
But but that's a good example, but a good example for what not to do, because Microsoft really never recovered from that
They did
response.
not.
I would say this, like I said last week, I think Sony is throwing this out there in the flow of all the negative stuff that's been coming. We've been getting hit in the gaming industry with negative news after negative news after negative news. I think Sony threw this out there in that window, and now they listening to the backlash. They've given themselves a cushion. I'm with Nia. I'm with Nia and all those. I believe this is anti-consumer. Yes, digital is inevitable, We not going to detour it. It's not going to go away. They did kind of manipulate those numbers to suggest that gamers are buying more digital, which we could have went into that a little bit. But I think they did what they did. Now they are literally listening to the backlash, and I think that's why I think they gave themselves this cushion of 2028. Now they're gathering the data from the backlash. They got the like I said, the lawsuits are coming. Now you finna get the lawyers and the different ones. Okay, so how do we address this? How do we address that? How do we smooth that over? How do we comply here if we are out of compliance? So then that's where the regulation is going to start to be shaped, because there has to be some level of trust with the consumer that if we buying this stuff, there's certain guarantees that come with digital, because that's really what it's about. And I know that the collector's probably going to be salty because they want to collect, but I think the main concern is the fact that you really don't own nothing, and that you at the mercy of whomever is controlling the store. If they decide, hey, we don't want to carry that game no more on our in our database or whatnot, you can lose that if they decide we're going to drop. So if you got that game, well, that's gone, and you've been paying, you paid for that. So that's the concern. So they gotta create some regulation around that, and I think that's what Sony may be formulating now. They just getting what we're about to do out there, and then collect, and then letting the dust kick up, and then I think they're going to come back with their, okay, this is our approach to how we're going to do it. That's a theory, but again, I think it is anti-consumer. I don't think it's well thought out. Just like they did with the trying to make everybody sign into PlayStation with Hell Divers. I don't think that was well thought out, and then they got the backlash and they pivot. I don't think they're going to pivot on this. They might, but I don't think they will. They're going to try to come up with some way to address the concerns to continue to do what they're trying to do. They might pay some folks under the table. Hey, y'all shut up. I don't know what they're going to do, but I think that's what they kind of formulating now behind the scenes. And then what you looking for, Keith, they going to come with it. I'm not trying to defend them. This is what I think they're doing. I want to say this real quick, piggybacking on something Nia said. One of the concerns is how is this going to affect stores and different ones who rely on physical media? Well, GameStop CEO Ryan Cohen says this won't affect them at all. And I found that interesting. So let's read this, then we go to our next topic. So GameStop CEO Ryan Cohen, or I think that's how you say it, called physical video game software sales totally irrelevant. You think he got paid to say this, Keith, Nia? When I walk into GameStop, I don't see nothing but digital, physical games. So, and dismiss the notion that the shift towards digital exclusivity by companies like Sony would have a notable impact on gaming retail's bottom line. The GameStop CEO controversial words came after PlayStation announced it would end physical disc production for game release after 2028. Cohen's statement came a day after GameStop announced a new partnership with Uber Eats to offer same-day delivery of game products and collectibles throughout the United States. GameStop joined other retailers in offering delivery via the Uber Eats app. However, deliveries made via Uber Eats will result in additional fees and can only be done by users who live near a GameStop retail location. The partnership with Uber Eats will not affect GameStop's current method of shipping games directly to consumers across the country. Okay, well, he says it's not going to bother. It's not going to affect them. I don't buy none of that. I don't buy none of that. How is it not when that's what your main thing is, reselling this stuff, right? GameStop is user, to me, when I think of GameStop, I think used first before I even think. Like when I buy my games, I go to Best Buy, I go to Target, I go to Walmart. When I go to GameStop, I'm trying to see what's used, what's on sale. I don't go in there for new stuff unless I can't find it elsewhere. So I can't see how this won't affect them. He needs to explain that. What's y'all thoughts on that?
Yeah, it's definitely going to affect them. I don't know what he's talking about,
Yeah.
unless they have gone full merch. Funko Pop, like you were saying, T-shirts, which is cool. But we also got other stores for that too.
Right.
What's that store? That store that I don't go to in the mall. That real freaky store. I don't be going in there. Hot Topic.
Hot Topic, yeah.
Yeah, I don't be going in there. But you got all types of anime, gaming, and stuff. So you can get that stuff from anywhere. You don't have to go to GameStop. Your benefit was that you had used games, like Level was saying. Like I don't go in GameStop thinking like, man, I finna get this this Pokemon hat so I can like Ash Ketchum. No, dog, I'm going in there to look for a game. So I don't know. When I saw that earlier, I was like, is he serious right now? Like this is what GameStop is. They are a reseller, So hey, if he feels if he feels like it ain't gonna hurt them and they can survive off merch, go right ahead. More power to you. But I don't think it's gonna work. We was already thinking that GameStop was gonna go away, and a lot of stores have already disappeared.
Right.
So I don't know where he's getting this from.
I know others that are GameStop are saying that this is going to be a problem. So I don't understand how when they've been fighting not going bankrupt, this is all of a sudden. I don't think Uber Eats deals is going to stop you from needing those resales of used games because that's your main attraction. So I'm not buying GameStop magazines. I'm not doing none of that. If I'm in your store, I'm bored and I don't want to buy nothing new. So I'm trying to find who trade this in early and see what y'all selling it for. And if it's too expensive, I'm walking up out of here too. I think this is nonsense. I don't know if somebody asked him to say this so they could smooth it over. I don't know, but this makes no sense. Neil, you got anything to add to this?
I mean, this is the reason why the GameStop brand is going down because you got people like this as a higher up for the company.
Yeah,
they don't know what's going on clearly.
Yeah, because if he think he's sounding tough, he sounds stupid. I'm like, brother, your whole 90% of your store, 80% of your store is used. Like that's where the bulk of your money come from. What are you talking about? Anyway, I just wanted to bring that in. So with that being said, any final words on Sony and this lawsuit, or we can move on?
I think we're good.
All right.
Yeah, I think we've exhausted this topic.
All right, so Capcom had a article out or interview. I forgot who interviewed them. I'm gonna pull it up, where they stated that with the Switch 2, the RE engine is the perfect fit. They are, I guess, really shocked by how well the RE engine has. Or how well the Switch 2 and the RE engine has kind of worked with each other. And so they saying that this is the perfect fit. They was talking about what is that new game that's coming out that I think everybody was not
Dragon's Dogma.
Dragon's Dogma is coming out. And I'll play a little bit of that. But they were saying how, and I'm trying to find it, I think it's Nintendo Life that I saw that article. Let me pull it up.
Like I said, Nintendo News.
On Nintendo News. I thought it was Nintendo Life. Ain't that? Let me see.
I mean, they probably both talked about it, but I'm looking at one right now. I can send it to you.
Go ahead and read it, man. You ain't got to send it to me. Go ahead and read it.
It says Capcom says the RE engine is the perfect for the Nintendo Switch. Switch 2, excuse me. Capcom has been a strong supporter of the Nintendo Switch 2, putting out a number of games on the platform, including the GOAT. They didn't say this, but I'm saying this. GOATy, Pragmata. Okay. Highly regarded Resident Evil, Requiem, and Pragmata. Speaking to Eurogamer, Capcom producer Naoto Oyama said that the RE engine that his games are now.
Wait.
No, let's go.
Wait a minute, run that back.
Uh,
What you say?
Oyama,
Okay,
Oyama,
Oyama. Okay,
Oyama.
like he's just gonna slide
Um,
past there. Like I'm like, wait a
it's
minute now.
it's like OY, like saying Obama. But anyways,
Okay,
um, let's see, where was I? Has RE Engine that its games are based on have been a perfect fit for the Nintendo Switch 2, that they are continuously optimizing the game engine to work even better with the platform. Here's what he said, and this is the quote. The RE engine, which we're developing our games on now, is something that has actually been a really great fit for Nintendo Switch 2, explains the producer. When I asked how Capcom found the process of porting Dragon's Dogma to the Switch 2, as you mentioned, we've had some really well received Nintendo Switch 2 versions on major titles such as Pragmata and Resident Evil Requiem this year. And because this is an internal engine, we've been able to accumulate knowledge and know how from our teams. And that means that the improvements that are made to the engine, which each title and the different features that are added with new games get to stay with us. And we get the benefit from them on future titles. It's a really positive cycle. We've been working not only to improve performance to let the game run on Switch 2, but to improve the current base game versions on other platforms. So you're welcome, other platforms. In particular, we've been trying to find as many small tweaks as we can make so we can build up and have a big performance improvement on consoles when it comes to performance mode itself. That's something we're aiming for with the late August title update that's in our roadmap. For the performance mode on consoles, we'll be able to reach 60 frames a second. He said a second.
now
That means,
before you go to that next paragraph,
yeah.
explain to because I mean I know what it meant, but just for fun and discussion, how do you interpret what he meant by other platforms benefiting from the improvements that is being learned? Go ahead.
Yeah, so he says something about in particular we've been trying to find as many small tweaks as we can to make so we can build up and have a big performance improvement on consoles when it comes to performance mode itself. To me, I don't want to use the word shortcuts, but finding those little bitty opportunities is, I think that's the best way to say it, those opportunities to get the best out of the performance. I'm not a developer. I don't know how game makers do their thing. I don't know if they're saying we scale back, we reduce, we take away things. I'm not sure what that means in totality, but when it comes to other systems, they probably look at it as a uh, this is wasteful. Let's just because we have this raw power and ability to do something, it's still being wasted here. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
this system can run it at 60 frames per second, but it's still wasted effort. And if we change our design philosophy to develop games that could work on this platform, that platform, that platform, all of these platforms would benefit instead of trying to isolate this one and use wasted
Assets.
resources like if
Okay.
and assets. So that's
Yeah,
how I look at it.
I kind of took it to mean that, and this kind of like the better we get it to run on this particular device and its limitations only bodes even better for like something like the PlayStation 5 and Xbox because the more we tweak, the more we identify to make it run smoother, the better we get it to run on the Switch 2 is only going to make the more powerful system run even that much better because we've learned how to do this on this system. Now we may be able to achieve stuff on the other system through what we learned with this one. We can, like you said, we can cut, eliminate things. We can trim the fat, all these type of stuff to get an even better experience. That's kind of how I took it. I don't know if
Yeah.
that, yeah. So go ahead. You gonna read that third paragraph or no?
Yeah, let me go ahead and read this.
All
So
right.
that's he says that means that consumer well boy, that's a word I can't
Comments,
get right now. What get
commensurate. That was one I was struggling with when I was reading it earlier. Com,
commensurately.
commensurate.
Nia, where you at? All that effort.
It is myself because I think
commensurately,
there's feedback coming through my commensurately. Commensurately.
There
Commensurately.
you go.
Oh
I,
my
I thought I
God.
got it. Commensurately.
I've
Yeah, there it is.
never once in my life ever said that word. Okay. all that effort we put into the PS5 and the Xbox Series X and S versions of the game also pays off in the Switch 2 versions, and we're currently seeing a minimum 30 frames per second rate performance on that hardware, and in many scenes, it's even higher. So it's a little while to go until the game releases, but it's exceeding our expectations on Switch 2, and I hope the players agree that we've done a great job again with bringing this game to that platform.
All right. So what's your takes on this, Nia? And then I'll bring you back in, Keith, give you a chance to
Listen, I don't play as
submit.
many Capcom games as y'all, but one thing that I will say, the real test is gonna be when Monster Hunter Wilds comes to Nintendo Switch 2. Then and listen, don't be laughing, Keith, because you know my gripes. Only then will I be able to give them their claps for the RE engine. If they can bring Monster Hunter Wilds to the Switch 2, it is properly optimized and not that mess that Monster Hunter Wilds was at launch on the PC. Only then will I sing their praises. I don't want to take nothing away from y'all. I know y'all are enjoying your Resident Evils and your Pragmatas and all the things. But yeah, yeah, I
Okay.
need to see it.
All right, come on back through here, Keith. What's your thoughts on Capcom and the RE engine? We kind of been raving about it for a while, so it's not like we haven't shared our praises of it. But go ahead.
First of all, I had to go look up that word commensurately. I don't know if I said it right. Anyways,
I've heard it. I just hard when you see it. It's hard to. I had to think about it for a second to get it out.
it says it's an adverb meaning in a way that is corresponding in size, extent, amount, or degree proportionally. It denotes that two or more variables are adjusted or matched appropriately in relation to each other. So I had to know. I was like, what is this word that's kicking my butt right now? Uh, so one of the things that I noticed, and I'm gonna use my PC as an example instead of my Switch too. When they put out the demo to Pragmata and I got a chance to play it, and I was running 4K and I was still getting over 100 some frames per second, I was like, ooh, this is gonna run beautifully on the Switch 2, because if I'm punching this high above it, because typically with my graphics card, I'm getting around 60. So when I saw that, and I was still using ray tracing and things of that nature, I was like, this engine is very smooth. And I played Resident Evil, all the Resident Evils, well, 7 through 9 on the Switch 2, and I had no problems. Of course, there's always room for better fidelity, but I didn't miss anything. The game was still great. I guarantee if I took some of the screenshots that I took and I put them online, you wouldn't notice unless I told you. So I think this RE engine needs its praises, and I think they call it Reach for the Moon. That's what it's called. Not a Resident Evil engine, which I thought it was. But anyways, I think this engine deserves the praise that it's getting. And like Nia said, Monster Hunter Wilds is going to be the real test, because we haven't seen this engine perform so well when it comes to open world games like that. Pragmata is still linear, even though it has some open spaces. But and I think Resident Evil does perform better than Pragmata. But anyways, I'm liking what I'm hearing, and they definitely are getting my support this year. And I can't wait to see what Onimusha is going to perform like on the Switch 2, because I would rather go sit at my couch than playing in my PC. Even though I've been playing on GeForce now, but yeah, that's my takeaway.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and give them their flowers, man. I think Capcom has really came through this generation, especially for the Switch. Like I was saying before, I was so happy to see CD Projekt Red actually take the system serious with Cyberpunk, really pulling out all the stops, going through all the optimizing as well as they possibly could to get it to run the absolute best they can get it to run at that time. And I bet you if they had time, they could probably even get it better, run even better. But that game always was like, if they take the time and show that this stuff is capable, it's going to me, I believe that it was going to reflect on what others did with the platform. And then we saw, Star Wars Outlaws. And then they kept on tweaking and kept on tweaking and kept on tweaking to get the game to run at its absolute best. And then we see it with Resident Evil Requiem. Then we seen it with Pragmata. Then we seen it with Assassin's Creed Shadows. And it's like seeing these third parties take this platform serious. It's just been awesome. And then seeing Capcom with the RE engine really just being a showcase on the platform has been amazing. So to hear them have so much confidence, they literally bring in everything they got. So far, they have brought everything that they have made over to this system. Seeing this game coming, and then seeing, like Nia said, I'm not a Monster Hunter person, so if Monster Hunter doesn't run well, it'd be, to me, I look at it like, well, that's the one that they couldn't get. But but I hope that those who are looking forward to Monster Hunter while running well, because I did hear it didn't run well on pretty much anything, it struggled. So if they can get that optimized well and get things figured out, that'd be just another praise for them. But I'm happy. Capcom has really came through for the Switch 2, and I just think Capcom, CD Projekt Red, Ubisoft, and even a few others, man, they praises can't be sung loud enough for me as a Switch 2 owner. Just seeing them taking it serious is really put pressure across the board for all these companies or these developing studios to really take the system serious. And that's what it does for me. So shouts out to Capcom on that. That's dope. Let's continue. All right. So this topic right here is going to be where we go next. So we could talk about the Dust Bloods and that last topic. We'll get on that. But Keith came up with this topic before we jumped on the cast, and I thought this was dope. As we can see right now, the industry is in a crisis. Let's be real. We are in a financial crisis with the industry. Hardware is expensive. Game development is expensive. The AAA title is literally bankrupting studios. If these games don't make back what they put in, these studios going under. We just saw massive cuts come from Microsoft, which I don't blame that on the studios at all. I blame that on the negligence of Microsoft. But a lot of those studios are going independent. Some of them are brokering deals with others to take up the slack from Microsoft. We saw Capcom literally lay off a lot at Bungie, and because of what Concord not doing, it's not Concord. It was Marathon. What was the game? Which one is it? Marathon? Is it Marathon?
I think Concord was right.
With Bungie?
Oh, which one? Oh, you said it's Marathon.
Marathon, yeah. Marathon is not getting the frequency that they need from players. So, and it's a big budget, so they cutting, right? So now, not every cut is the same. Not every cut is warranted. Not every cut is fair. But some of these cuts and some of these studios closing was strictly because they was too ambitious in their endeavors with the game they was making. And that game ended up flopping, feeling like Concord was what, 400 million?
Yeah.
And when people saw it, they knew no. It was a no on go. Soon as they say press play on that trailer, everybody left. No, not at all. Not gonna happen. So that was $400 million just wasted. So Keith was asked the question: is it time for these companies to return to putting focus on the AA game? Those smaller titles that can fill up in between these major titles. Should the industry focus in on the AA? And I'm going to add this to it because I believe what has happened, and we can flesh this out. I just want to throw this out here. I believe the indie scene has kind of become the AA space. Nintendo still, to me, has a healthy AA space. But I think gaming wide, I think they have focused on their bread and butters, rinse and repeat titles, the Call of Duties, the Maddens, all that type of stuff, where they know they're gonna make their money, and then they have kind of turned over the double A space to mainly indie. But Keith, I'm gonna let him come in because he was talking about a few titles that's in that double A space that he wanted to talk about and kind of flesh this out even more. So the floor is yours, Keith. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. So I was driving home when I was thinking about this, and of course, one of the double A games that I've been playing over the weekend kind of really sparked this idea of the industry needs to really focus on smaller games that feel big. I'm playing as y'all heard, I'm playing Chronos. This is a double A game from the Blooper team, and it's I've already put in 20 hours into this game, and I'm enjoying it. It has aspects of like a triple A. The visuals are very beautiful, and I don't know why other studios aren't pouring into games like this. And I'm gonna name a few more, but I really think the industry should focus. This is to me, this will be the great reset. You have your Grand Theft Autos and your other AAA games that needs to be put out, but these same studios can definitely put out some smaller budgeted games. I'm gonna name two Switch games that's coming out, and then I'm gonna name 10 games that I have a list in front of me that most people probably forgotten about or didn't even know were double A. So the two Switch games, Star Fox just came out. Everybody's loving the multiplayer. Everybody's loving the visuals. This is not a triple A game. This is a remake of a game that we played during the 64 era. And it's doing bangers right now. And people are loving it and they're enjoying it. You got people buying Switches for Star Fox. I've seen the people talk about it. Talking about, now I can finally play Star Fox the way it was meant to be played. These type of testimonies. And the other Switch game that's coming out, is it next week? Yeah, next week. Splatoon Raiders. That's a double A game. But I guarantee you it's going to bring the people, it's going to do the numbers. All of us on this podcast have played the demo. We've all witnessed the beauty and the idea of what Splatoon Raiders is. And when people get together and start playing and having their four player teams and stuff like that, Nintendo's gonna have another hit on their head, and they didn't have to break the bank to do it. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna name those 10 games, and then I'm gonna pass the topic around. So number 10, and I don't think this is talking about what's the best. I think they just gave a list. So number 10 was actually a game of the year, and that's Expedition 33. That's a double A game, and it won Game of the Year.
Right.
Let's keep going.
I was gonna bring that one up.
Okay. Well, let me just say these lists, and then
No, you got it. You got it.
Kingdom Come Deliverance. And I guess you can add this. I don't know how old this list is, but then I know you can add Kingdom Come Deliverance too. Liza P, which is getting a Switch 2 release. Liza P. Remnant. Is that also coming to Switch 2? Or no?
Remnant. I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe not. But Remnant, double A game. Here, K-Bomb. Here you go. I know you're not here, but Sifu. He loved that game.
Yeah, Sifu. I hate that he beat that game, and I can't even get past the fourth boss. Go ahead.
But yeah, Sifu, he loved that game. Oh, here's another one. Me and you played this one. Kena Bridge of Spirits.
Yeah.
Double A. And the next one,
yeah.
And the second one looks amazing. Now, I played this one. I wasn't that high on it, but RoboCop, Road City. What they call it, Unk Slop. This is we'll call this one Unk Slop, but it's still there. You got a RoboCop. I don't know anything about this one, but Desperados 3. I don't know if y'all know anything about that one. And the last two, Plague's Tale, Requiem. That's a whole trilogy right there. There's 3 games in this trilogy right now, double A, and they're beautiful, beautiful games. And then the last game is Ghost Runner 2. It's a cyberpunk parkour type game, and I've seen that one. I've seen some people streaming this one before, but there's plenty places to have fun that doesn't require 400 million, 500 million, billion with Grand Theft Auto. Only certain select games that you have full confidence you should be doing that, but not every game needs to be doing that. There's plenty fun and creativity and all different types of things that you could do beyond just throwing money at it. So
Right.
I'll pass the topic around.
Let me ask this before I bring Nia in. Wouldn't Witcher 3 also be a double A? Base, be, yeah. Wouldn't
No,
well reason I'm
Um,
asking because double this is what we gotta understand. Double A does not mean not top quality. It just means it wasn't as big a budget as AAA titles. So like when I'm looking at Chronos is a double A title, but if you look at it visually and what it's doing is not any less than some of these AAA titles. It's just probably a smaller team, a smaller budget. So they probably
if
build
you
a lot.
said Witcher 1 and 2, I would argue that Witcher 1 and 2 are double A. I would argue that Witcher 3 is triple A because CD PR actually threw everything in the kitchen sink at that game. They wanted to make it the biggest one in the series. And I think they're doing the same thing with Witcher 4. That's
Okay.
why I said no, I don't think that Witcher 3 will be considered double A.
Well, okay. I mean, I don't know. I'm just saying, like, I thought double A only, triple A only refers to the cost that went
But I
into
don't know.
development.
I'm not as well versed on CDPR as like Keith, for example. But I think that I learned that they actually increased the resources and the budget
Yeah, let me
for
look that
Witcher
up.
3 versus the other two.
Yeah,
Let me
they
see.
saying this costs up to 80 million, I believe, 80 million.
For
And
Witcher
they're
3?
yeah, and they saying it's an outsider AAA,
That's what I'm
outsider
saying. Right. Okay. That's my point. So for CD Project Red, that was a stretch because they was a smaller company, but that game in comparison to something like what was the game from EA that failed? Anthem. I bet you that 80 was you probably had to put another 80 on top of that 80 before you even get to what Anthem cost in production. See what I'm
hmm
saying? So Witcher 3 technically would be for a double A game because of the cost that it went into it. Kind of similar to Nintendo. A lot of people wrestle with saying Nintendo makes AAA titles. Even though we will all say Breath of the Wild, Mario Odyssey, Tears of the Kingdom, these are AAA titles. Mario Kart, these are AAA titles, but the budget is not what AAA is considered. But no, but I
Well,
so, yeah.
before y'all continue, I'm looking at this Gameopedia. Sorry, I can't read tonight. Um, so they got AAA versus AA, and just ran off a few facts or what they're considering facts. AAA games usually 100 million plus, often 200 plus million. AA games 5 to 50 million. Sometimes it could be 2 million to 10 million. I should have said that like Trump. Sometimes they could be 2 million, not 10 million. Okay. Team size usually hundreds of people, often across countries for AAA games, and it's usually 50 to 100 people for AA games. That's just some of the things they're saying. I don't think this always it hits this mark. I think there are some AA
Yeah.
games that may exceed that,
Right.
but this is just something that they're saying.
Yeah, I think some games are double A budget, triple A experiences, like Witcher 3, like the other games. But Nia, come on in here. What's your thoughts? Is it time for these companies to start prioritizing more of a double A budget um, over these triple A titles?
When we're saying companies, who are we specifying? Is there a
Like
specific company that you're saying?
like any other big companies, like the ones that typically, like Keith was saying, come with the like I'm looking up Anthem right now with EA. Anthem costs between 100 150 million from EA all them years ago. EA typically when they come with something is gonna be AAA because of the team size and the budget that they put in the title. Should they start to look at what a Chronos? What's the name of the company that the studio makes this, Keith?
Blooper team.
The Blooper team and other teams that are not as big but are Expedition and that small team and what they were able to achieve with that double A but plays like a triple A title. Should these bigger companies that tend to have these bloated budgets in their games start to look at what these companies are doing or these studios are doing and try to emulate that or what's the word? Start to help their studios to reflect that same type of development style.
Yeah, but I'm gonna make it more specific because I feel like this is too broad, and also because I'm probably one of the few people on the panel, probably other than Keith, who actually plays like double A games like the majority of the time. So I feel like
Wait a minute, I take that as
I'm
an
gonna be honest.
insult.
I feel like I have a wealth of games in my library that I play regularly that would not be considered triple A games. It's actually very rare for me to actually sit down and play a triple A game.
I think I
So
play
I'm
one.
gonna make it more specific. I will say that AAA games 100% exist and they continue to come out. I think when I think about no, sorry, not AAA, double A. Specifically when I think about double A, I think about everything that 505 Games publishes. I think about everything that Annapurna publishes. I think about everything that Focus Interactive publishes. I feel like double A is still very much alive and well. And when I say I think we should be more specific, I think that there are only certain companies who are not doing double A very well, and I would say that that's PlayStation and Xbox. If I'm being completely honest with you,
Because I was gonna say
more
I play a lot of
specifically, I would
double A.
say it's more PlayStation than it is Xbox, and that's not me trying to start like a console or anything like that. It's just like when I think about my experience with PlayStation, like I'm looking at my gaming shelf right now. There's so many PS3 games behind me that I spent so much of my PlayStation 3 years playing, like Starhawk, like Vanquish, like Heavenly Sword. I feel like those are a lot of Ratchet and Clank. Once upon a time was
Right.
a double A game, and I think that those are games that Sony just doesn't focus on anymore. And I think that they have conditioned their audience to not really care about those games anymore, i.e., Soros. But I think that Xbox attempts to make double A, but I think the problem with Xbox is that maybe they have too many double A. Maybe they're flooding the market with double A. Because I think about some double A games that Microsoft put out recently, like High on Life 2. And the Outer Worlds. I feel like those are double A games that Microsoft publishes, and I feel like people like them, but they're not really moving the needle. I think the real question that we should be asking is, first of all, who should be indulging in the double A, and for those who are indulging in the double A, are they moving the needle? Because I hear Keith talk about Chronos, which I've watched him play, and it looks really interesting, and the story looks like it's there. It looks like one of the more compelling double A's. I have myself have played Expedition 33. I would consider that to be an indie game that it has double A status and it moved the needle. Um, so I guess I say all of that to say I really think double A is alive and well, but we need to just kind of like focus in on exactly who needs to focus on those double A's. Because I feel like Nintendo's bringing the double A's. Xbox is bringing the double A's, but they not really moving the needle. PlayStation, they need to focus more on double A's. One of the reasons why I don't really play PlayStation as much nowadays as I used to play it is because they don't really bring a lot of double A's like they used to. I used to love those double A's. I'm not gonna lie to you. That's like the bulk of my library. But I don't know if I answered your question.
I mean, you
Yeah, you know,
did.
But
You
can I say
I feel like there's a lot of I can list so many double A games off the top of my
that's
head right now.
that's why I
well,
try. Go ahead.
wait. I want to say this, Nia, while you were talking.
Hmm.
I Googled PlayStation AA games and I think AI got confused. It is said I said, does PlayStation make AA games? It says yes. PlayStation absolutely makes games. Through their internal division, PlayStation Studios, they develop and publish massive narrative-driven blockbuster titles, also known as AAA games. They couldn't even find any and they list The Last of Us, God of War, Horizon, Spider-Man. We know how much Spider-Man costs. That's
Right.
crazy.
I was finna
Yeah.
say that's why I wanted to bring up Witcher 3 because in my book I have a lot. I think I have a balance of AA, AAA. PlayStation is mostly AAA. Nintendo, a lot of what I play on Nintendo will probably be considered AA. Luigi's Mansion. Um, a lot of my titles on Nintendo is AA because they don't make a lot of AAA titles in my book. Um, a lot of the games I'm playing through right now, I would probably put in the class of AA. Like Requiem is AA. Pragmata is AA. Them not AAA titles to me. But they play like AAA games. That's why I was trying to make a distinction between are we talking budget or the end results? Because a lot of these AA games still giving you AAA experiences. It's just didn't spend AAA money. So in my book, Neil, I like how you distinguished it. Who needs to focus on AA? And I would say definitely Sony. Absolutely. I would say Sony from a major big of the big three, and then I would say companies like EA. I used to play, man, Def Jam Vendetta, Def Jam Fight for New York, NBA Streets. Them all AA titles. That was what my whole portfolio was filled up. But they started focusing on one game or a few games, Battlefield, Star Wars and stuff like that, Star Wars Jedi, Star Wars Fallen Order, and all that type of stuff. And I think those will fall into what we say. Would Jedi be a AAA or AA?
I would say that's I don't know because that's a Star Wars game too at the
Right.
same time.
We know. So
Which
that's my
which one?
Star Wars Survivor and Star Wars Jedi. Those two from EA. Would those be AAA or AA?
I think they're triple A.
Okay. What about Assassin's Creed to be AAA? Or that AA?
Yes.
I say it's AAA. I think it's
Okay.
one of
Yes.
Ubisoft's more high
Right.
profile IPs. Yeah.
So, because I was a dark, what's the name of the game from THQ? Dark Siders. That was my type of games. That's a AA game. So I have a lot of AA games. A few. I mean, I play the big titles: God of War, Gears of War. I play those as well. But a lot of my portfolio is AA. I just like action. I like beat 'em ups. I like side scrollers. I like that type of stuff, and that's indie AA. So I guess to me, Nia put it in a way that we can really isolate it. Keith, come through here. Who do you feel like needs to, from third-party developers to the big three, who needs to focus on AA titles more?
Uh, I would say Ubisoft needs to focus on AA titles. I think they do a lot of wash, rinse, and repeat with their titles. And I think focusing on smaller titles. What was that one game that came on, like Prince of Persia? You had that come out. And I feel like they had something else that they came out with that wasn't Assassin's Creed. Or if they were to do an Assassin's Creed, I think they did do this once before, make it a smaller um, side scroller or just in a different um, I don't know. You know how Nintendo does with Mario? The Mario is the IP, and then they branch off and they do other things.
Kind of like the ones
For
they used to make for handheld. You remember Assassin's Creed
yeah,
used to have handheld versions sometimes?
they had one on the Vita, I believe. But
Hmm.
yeah, just make it like use the universe, but just like make something smaller that's not Skull and Bones. So I would definitely say Ubisoft. I would say Capcom is doing that right now, and I think that's why they have a winning formula. Resident Evil, I don't think those games were really high budgeted like that. And you mentioned Pragmata. Um, she already mentioned Annapurna. They already doing it. And I definitely do think that Sony. I think Nintendo. I think Sony and Xbox should trade places. I think Sony should give us more AA games, especially Sony, since they are technically the market leader. They should be the ones leading the charge with making smaller games more accessible. and more prevalent in our industry. And I think Xbox should try harder and stop buying stuff, which we know that they're not buying anything right now, and try to make bigger games than what they have been doing. And I think Nia brought up a good point that they've been flooding us with AA games, and we've been yearning from them with all of the acquisitions and stuff that they had done past, before Asha stepped in, and we had been waiting on those games to reflect their budgets, and they haven't. So I definitely think PlayStation and Xbox should swap, but Xbox isn't in a healthy spot right now. But who else? EA. EA could make some definitely make some AA games. Actually, I don't even know what he's doing right now. No, I think Rockstar should do what they do.
I want another Max Payne. Nah, let them go ahead and make another AA.
I think Rockstar should do what they do. And okay, let's say that they did have someone doing Max Payne. I don't think the main Rockstar team should be doing it. I think they should enlist it, kind of like how Game Freak with this Beast of Reincarnation, which is another AA title that's going to be probably crazy when it comes out. So, but yeah.
Yeah.
What AA game would be the perfect AA game for EA to make?
What's that?
Titanfall 3.
Okay. All right, Nia. All right.
you really got a fascination with Titanfall. My thing is, my favorite era in gaming was probably GameCube, PlayStation 2, Xbox OG.
What's that, 6th gen?
I don't remember. That's why I went with the systems. I can't remember what generation. It might be 6. I think it is 6. And the reason I say that is you had so many. You was just overly fed with those systems because you had the big budget titles, but you had the small budget titles, and it was just a smorgasbord of games to be played. And you look at today, you only got one wrestling game, WWE. I think you got TNT. Man, I had, like I said, Def Jam Vendetta, like Fight for New York, Def Jam Vendetta. Like, man, it's NBA Streets, Blitz. You didn't have to buy Madden. You didn't have to buy 2K. Now they got that all in 2K now. We lost something when everybody started chasing the big budget, ultra realistic, next gen level graphics, and it shrunk up because you don't have as much to play with, and you can't gamble with much. And I think that's what happened. Is we ate up the focus on the AA title. The AA title got you through. Those were those pick 'em up, play, put down. You didn't have to take anything serious. THQ and a lot of their titles, and a lot of these companies went belly up. A lot of the AA companies went belly up, and a lot of the big companies, the big studios, focus on their bread and butters, and most of the time those are AAA titles. So the EAs, the Ubisofts. And I say the Ubisoft got a lot of AA titles, but like you said, to me, it ain't just making a AA title. We don't want to be Microsoft, where you got a lot of AA titles that nobody want to play. The trick is to have AA titles that don't feel AA. That's Nintendo. Nintendo has a lot of AA titles that feel bigger than a lot of the AAA titles. You can't tell me Breath of the Wild doesn't feel bigger, more thought out. Yes.
Bishop. I don't know. I had a bone.
He got it?
Yes, he did.
Okay. All right. Okay. I'm coming. What is he doing?
He's eating the bone.
Okay. All right.
Go get your other son, man.
All right.
But I know he was saying that he thinks the Legend of Zelda feels bigger, but I think the Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild is a AAA game. I think the budget for that one was 120 million, I believe. I believe that was 120 million,
Yeah.
and
Hmm.
I think Tears of the Kingdom probably exceeded that even more. So, Breath of the, and that's the thing. And that's exactly what I'm harping on. You still have to have certain titles, and this is what you were saying earlier, Nia, that Xbox hasn't been doing. You still got to have certain titles that do kind of go over that budget of 100 million and get your triple A's, Mario's, the Zeldas. You know what I'm saying? Those are like the two that I can think of off the top of my head that's gonna get you that triple A experience and those details, but then you also got to keep putting out your Pikmins. You got to put out your Star Fox and Kirby's and Yoshi's, and you got to keep Splatoon Raider type games. You got to keep those games flowing until you can put out your next Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that Nintendo has really put themselves in a good situation. And this is not me trying to glaze Nintendo, I promise y'all. I'm not trying to glaze Nintendo, but I think they've put themselves in such a perfect spot because we always talk about how Nintendo has been around so long that you might get a Nintendo game like in the same IP, but in a different form factor. You have your 2D Metroid, and then you have your 3D Metroid. You have your top-down Zelda, you have your 3D Zelda. You got your arcade Star Fox, and hopefully your Assault style Star Fox for Star Fox 65.
You funny.
So they
You
always
funny.
put themselves in a
Wait, hold
situation
up,
to
hold up, hold up. Slap yourself for that, dear. I'm not letting you get that off.
I heard somebody call it Star Fox 65 one day, and I have not let it go. I think it's hilarious.
but I want to add on to that. Like I said, I don't not to glaze Nintendo as well, but Nintendo has been able with small budgets to make big games. And that's what I was trying to highlight is double A does not mean big does not mean it's not a big game. Like you can like Expedition. Expedition was a double A game, indie, but it was a big game. It was huge. And it had all the trimmings of what we would consider a triple A title. And there is a lot of games out here like that. Resident Evil Requiem, Pragmata. These are double A games, but they're big games. They're industry stoppers. Like everybody stopped to look at Requiem. Everybody stopped to look at Resident Evil Veronica. I think we got it. Liza P. Like I think Japan just got it figured out. Like Wukong is that? What's the name of Wukong?
Black Myth.
Black Myth Wukong is a double A game. But
So before you left, I just want to say this though. The Zelda games, both Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, exceed over $100 million to
yeah,
make.
yeah, those
So
those are triple A now. Yeah.
yeah,
But yeah, so I'm just saying like it doesn't mean the game doesn't have all the feels of what AAA games feel like, big, over the top. Just my God, look at we double A can fill that void and still be double A. And I think it just takes smarter, creative, thought provoking creation. So but
Yeah,
anyway,
a lower budget and lower resources definitely have to force these people to be more creative. But I wanted to ask this question because it kind of sparked a thought when you were talking about all of the AA games that you've played and everything. So I wanted to ask y'all, what is your favorite AA game and why did it make such an impression on you?
dang,
It could be any game from any era.
that's a hard one, man. Nia. Okay, go ahead. Let's go. Go ahead, Keith. I got a
Nia,
few.
you start because I don't
I
know. Let
can
me
tell
think.
you what my favorite AA game, I can tell you right now.
I got a few.
I will never get over Starhawk. It is my favorite AA game of all time, and I wish that Sony PlayStation would recognize my boy Emmett Graves as a GOAT. I need a remake, I need a sequel, I need something, but I don't think that Sony's interested anymore in some of their older IPs.
Yeah. Okay. I guess I go next. I can't name one, but I name like two or three.
Well,
Is that
I
fair?
didn't. I'm not done. I'm
Okay,
sorry,
go ahead.
Level. I need to cut you off because I wanted to talk about the impact
Don't be
because I feel
interrupting me,
like
Nia. Don't be
we talk
interrupting me,
about double A
K Bun.
games.
K
I'm
Bun.
sorry.
Don't be interrupting me, K Bun. No,
I'm
listen, go
sorry.
ahead.
I was still talking. I was still talking.
I
I'm
am
sorry.
joking. I am totally joking. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I'm not trying to. This is your show, Level, my
I'm
family
mess.
show.
I am absolutely messing.
But I wanted to talk about the impact that it had on me. Well, for one, black protagonist. I don't care how y'all feel about it. Black protagonist. That's one of the impacts that the game had on me, and that's one of the reasons why I bought it. But it also was just a genuinely good game. Um, One thing that I really got out of Starhawk was like how we've been talking about today about how AA games like taking a little bit and doing a lot with it. Starhawk was so many things. It was a shooter, it was an action game, it was a space adventure, it was a zombie game. Like it was so many things. And I feel like being able to take all of those different genre types and put it together and also putting like real-time strategy on top of it was just amazing game design, and I will always love that game. Like it was just an amazing experience. I feel like for me those are the kind of experiences that I feel like sometimes I miss, even though I do play a lot of AA games, but to find a AA game that actually like captures you. And that way, I feel like that's all due to like the creativity and the vision of the people who made it. So, yeah.
Okay. All right. Go ahead, Keith.
Man, I still don't know. I've been trying to think, like, my memory is trash, but if there was a game that really resonated with me, I would have to go all the way back to when I was a kid, and that would be Mega Man X. I don't know how inflation works. If that was AAA or AA back in the day, but that was definitely the game that stuck with me. And I kind of look for those tropes that Mega Man X had in other games. I remember Mischief Makers on the Nintendo 64. Um, because Nintendo at that time wasn't getting any Mega Man X games. They was all going to PlayStation and I think Sega Saturn at one point, and then that died. So Mischief Makers was one of them that I never beat it. I thought that was pretty cool. But yeah, I was looking for stuff like that. What was that one guy? Joman? Is it Joman or Geoman? How you say that dude name? That RPG that was on the 64. I never beat it. I need to find me an Emmy. Anyways,
Man.
but yeah, it will be games like those side scrolling games like that. The Mega
Okay.
Mans that really stuck with me. And then just an honorable mention, just to stick with Mega Man, the Mega Man Legends games, man. That's what I've always been a Capcom kid, man. You know, I've always loved Capcom, what they did over there. But Mega Man Legends, here's to Mega Man Legends 3, how we never got you.
Okay. All right. I got a few, man. I got a name since I can't name one. I'll say Metroid Dread. Um, for two reasons. One, it was an excellent game, and that was the first actual side scroller Metroid that I ever beat. From beginning to end was Metroid Dread. Uh, Darksiders 1 and 2. I didn't like 3. I got 3. I don't know. I wasn't vibing with 3 as much as I was with 1 and 2. 1 was the best. 2 was cool. 3, I just think I had my attention elsewhere. But 1 and 2 was excellent.
Yeah,
THQ.
three came too late.
Yeah, I think it did. I keep saying it. Probably one of my favorite games of all time. Def Jam Vendetta, Def Jam Fight for New York. Um, man, if EA would bring those games back, that's all y'all probably hear from week to week. That's all Level will be playing is Def Jam Vendetta, Def Jam Fight for New York. I absolutely love them games. You know how much it costs to make Def Jam Fight for New York?
How much?
15 million.
And they had to pay all them those
Because they weren't paying them work. They weren't paying them too much. I think they was signing. Some of them was signing off their rights to be in the game. Just. I remember Joe Budden talking about they didn't pay much to be in them games. And that's what happened to
Interesting.
the third one was they wanted to get paid, and that's what ended up killing the series because they found out how much money EA was making off those games. Wave Race is another. That's probably one of my favorite games of all time, and that's a double A game. Luigi's Mansion OG and 3. I never played the one on what was the DS or the 3DS? Was that the DS?
The DS
Yeah,
probably.
I never played that one, and I'm not buying the remake of it. And then Shifu, and I can name several others, but the ones that stand out to me: Metroid Dread, Darksiders 1 and 2, Def Jam Vendetta, Def Jam Fight for New York, Wave Race, Luigi's Mansion, OG and 3, and Sifu. Sifu, I couldn't beat it, but you talking about over the top notch. That game is probably one of the best, like cinematic, make you really feel like you're in one of those kung fu movies. It plays like you're in one of those movies. It plays like what's that one movie that they had on Netflix that is kind of based on. It just plays so well. The combat system, the reaction of the enemies, the different tactics you got to play, the different fight styles you got to learn. I wasn't good enough to make it all the way through it, but as far as what it done for what it is, and I add another one, Guacamelee. It's another one.
That was a good one.
That was a good one. Guacamelee was an awesome game as well. I beat the first one. I didn't beat the second one. I beat the first one though. But yeah, them a few. Them a few that I can think of. I can't think of all of them off the top of my dome, but them a few. Triple double A games that are some of my favorites. I can name some more. Double Dragon, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Shredder's Revenge. But them more considered, I guess, indie titles. Any more thoughts on this? Keith, that was a good topic. That was good. Let's move on. So Dust Blood's beta is going to be taking place in August. How do y'all feel about this? We about to finally get to see Dust Bloods. Let me ask in two ways. Are you excited, and what are your concerns?
Mm.
I'm excited. Go ahead, Nia. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, y'all. I'm trying to get my audio together. I was just saying this is a Keith question.
Okay, go ahead, Keith.
I am excited. I have no feelings toward whether it's going to be good or bad. I'm not a what's this dude Souls type gamer. So this isn't something that's like, oh my God, I can't wait that because you ain't never heard me come on here and talk about no Souls games. But the reaction to the people is what made me really hone in on this title and made me really want to focus on what the impact is going to be. I seriously doubt that even if I wanted to get into that beta, I seriously doubt or that test. I seriously doubt that I'd make it one because I'll probably forget most likely to sign up. And two, I just rather hear from the people who actually play these types of games, man. But I'm really excited to finally see what this is because to me this is another one of those games that I don't know the budget of this, but it's another one of those games that's I feel like it's gonna bring the people in. And you got a lot of people talking about, I wish it wasn't on the Switch too. They're gonna be looking because gamers are fickle like that. Gamers want to go where the games are, and this is something that they are gonna want to play if you're into those from soft games. So I'm excited.
Okay, Nia, do you have anything to add to that or?
I'm not really interested in these kind of games, but I will be looking out to see what the impressions are. I am actually very curious about what the impressions are going to be like for this game. And it's just also interesting too. We haven't seen any gameplay for this game yet, and they're already setting up a network test. I mean, I guess that's better than, you know,
Pre-orders.
putting I didn't want to say it, but you know what? We're here. I guess it's better than putting up a pre-order before you show gameplay. But yeah, I wonder if we're gonna get another um trailer in the process of the network test being live, or before the network test is being live. Because even though I'm not particularly into Souls like games, I will say for me personally, and this might be an unpopular opinion, but um, that first um, that first showing of Dust Bloods kind of left a little bit to be desired for me personally. You could tell that it was a game that started out on the Switch One that was then moved over to Switch Two. So I'll be very curious to see how they spruced it up. Even though, to be fair, those games are not like the most like graphical games
I
anyway
disagree.
on anything. Um, but I would be really curious to see like what the game plays like and what it looks like when it gets closer to its final version.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, it says the closed beta network test for Dust Bloods on Nintendo application opens on July the 22nd, 2026. So if you want to get in it, y'all better jump on the application and try to sign up. Nia, I'm going to co-sign what you just said about the first showing of this game. There was noticeable ugliness. I remember when the one dude was kind of swirling his arms, and it's like it was not even. It was like kind of ripping away from the torso of the body. It looked like it was all kind of not in sync with each other. It wasn't a good looking game, but Elden Ring on the PlayStation 5 is not a good looking game. I mean, let me not even say that. Let me take that back. It's not as good looking as you would think, to put it like that. I don't care about this game in a sense for me, but I am interested to see what it does for the Switch 2 as far as the being a FromSoft title, and all those reactions and the shock that this is exclusive to the Switch 2. I just want to see how much. I want to see if this will be another Pacopia. I want to see if it caused that type of reaction like Pacopia caused, where you just see Switch 2s flying off shelves because of Dust Bloods. I don't plan on getting it. This is not a game that I would get into. I tried Elden Ring. I tried Bloodborne. These are not my type of games. I'm just gonna be honest with you. It was Bloodborne was so ugly to me. I was like, God, why would you even want to play this? Like it was, it looked good when you watch it on YouTube, but playing it in person, I was like, man, this looks terrible. Elden Ring
But
looks
it's gonna
good.
be that, yeah, it's gonna be that gameplay that hit though. Because I mean, the
Yeah,
people who play these kind of games, similarly to like when people like me were playing Monster Hunter before Wilds and World, like we weren't really playing for the visuals. We know that game didn't really look good.
nah.
It was the gameplay that brought
I'm
everybody over there. So
Yeah, I'm not here for the gameplay either because I ain't good enough. That's what I'm saying. Forget the visuals. I can't play these games. The first boss I came to in Elden Ring, I had to run from every boss I encountered because I just did not know what. It's a lot to learn to be able to really fight these bosses. You can't just go in like Link and dodge and block and that's what I'm used to. No, you need to be powered up, you need to be scaled up, you need potions, and I wasn't ready. And I don't think I'm ready to invest what these type of games want you to invest to be able to take out these bosses. So I'm just being real. I just ain't. So I probably won't be getting Dust Buzz, but I am going to be watching to see how it does. I'm wishing it well. I'm hoping that it does well. I hope that Nintendo has a hit, an attraction on their hands with this game, because anything that makes the Switch 2 sell helps me out with other Switch 2 games. So, yes, I want you to sell. But anyway, any other thoughts on this, Keith?
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, we don't know what this game is. Like, we don't know what type
Right.
of gameplay it's going to be. So there is a little part of me that's intrigued. Like, oh, is this something that I'll finally get into? But judging off their track record, which is, I think, it's the appropriate thing to do. You can definitely say I wouldn't want this type of game, but we don't know what it's going to be. So,
Right.
uh, yeah, but yeah, I agree with you, love. But I want to see if we're going to get us another Pacopia moment. Is it going to move people to say, yo, man, the Switch is firing on all cylinders now, and people got to finally admit that, especially when their favorite
I'm curious
dev
about
is
that.
making an exclusive. You know what I mean? So
Uh,
yeah, hopefully they learned something from that Elden Ring multiplayer DLC, and it works out in their favor for Dust Bloods. Because I know like the FromSoft people, they're gonna be all over this if the gameplay actually lives up to what FromSoft is known for.
Yeah.
Okay. Final topic. And this is one, this can go long, this can go short. We'll see. So I was watching Digital Foundry, my favorite group of individuals. I love these guys. They're biggest fans of these dudes. Anyway, I
I
was
believe it.
watching. I am. I'm a big fan. I'm a huge fan. I love Rich, John, Olive. I can't stand Oliver. I can stomach. John is my guy. I like John. I can't stand Alex. Rich,
They got a new dude now too.
yeah, I saw him. Rich is kind of same spot as Alex. I can't stand Oliver at all. I don't want to hear him talk. He, I'm like,
My
man, open your
lord.
mouth up. Stop. And I know
All
he
right,
has a
all right,
list. I know he
all right.
has a
Let's
list.
do it. Let's
Nope.
do it.
I'm going. I'm going where I'm going. Open up your mouth and talk, bro. Stop doing that. But anyway, so I was listening to them, and something Rich said stood out to me, and I was kind of puzzled. I was shocked he said it. But I want to play it here for you guys, and I want to talk about this. Let's go.
better things. But it would still be relatively affordable to make. I'm curious about that. I'm curious as to whether it's going to happen or whether PlayStation rather would just go all in on a Switch type strategy, which is probably the better solution for them, to be honest. Properly differentiate themselves. PlayStation 5 stays where it is. But, in terms of this concept of freezing technology, you just got to look at what Switch 2 is doing. I mean, John, imagine what Switch 2 would be like without DLSS. Imagine that Resident Evil Requiem was on Switch 2, but it was native 540p docked.
Wow.
It wouldn't be a pretty thing, would it? But
No.
But it's a great example of how you don't need to ramp up shaders to produce a really good output. You can actually use advances in technology to sort of skirt your way around the limitations there. The issue, I think, is that basically it's probably too late in terms of like the designs of the core consoles, like PlayStation 6 and Project Helix.
All right,
Those
that's enough. This kind of messed me up. Rich said that he wants Sony to go all in on a Switch-like approach. That he wants Sony to basically follow the Switch and do what Switch 2 is doing. Now, y'all know I've been on Digital Foundry pretty much for about a year and a half. For all what I took as slander. Matter of fact, Nia, your first time really jumping on with us in a long time, we was talking about what Digital Foundry had been saying about the Switch 2. And to hear John say now he wants Sony to go all in other words, or hear Rich say he wants Sony to go all in on a Switch-like approach to literally forego the, I guess, next gen PlayStation 6, keep the PlayStation 5, and just focus on a Switch-like hybrid, that rumor, and then begin to really express the Switch design and the architecture, wanting them to do something like that, and then also saying that he fears that it's too late. I need y'all thoughts on this. This touched my heart. I got flutters in my heart. I was like, oh God. How do I feel about this? But go ahead. What's y'all thoughts on this? I'm shocked by this, but go ahead. Who want to take the
Go ahead, Nia.
I don't know what to. I don't know what to say. I mean, that's his thoughts. I don't know. I will. I don't know. I kind of talked to my homegirl Red Infamy a little bit about this on Twitter, just like a quick little interaction we had, and she said something similar too. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Red Infamy, but She's
Yeah.
one of the homies. She's been in the industry for a very long time. Very big PlayStation fan. She recently got a Nintendo Switch 2. Her community was able to help her. Were able to raise money for her to get her Switch 2, and she's really enjoying it. And she's basically just to kind of paraphrase some things that she's been saying, that she wants PlayStation to do something similar to what Nintendo's doing with the Switch, what Xbox did with the LIX and everything. And I think that for me personally, I'll speak for me personally, I would love if they did that, because one thing that I said too to Red, I was like, the older I get, the more I just care about comfort. The more I care about comfort, the more that I care about convenience. My try hard days from when I was a younger woman. Nowadays, I just want to kick back, play a little something after my work day, and then get ready for the next one. So for me, if Sony did choose to make a Switch like device, I think that would be one, a good way for them to kind of keep the cost down depending on how they do it, and what tools that they integrate inside of the device um, to make it so they don't have to spend so much on component parts. And actually, I said something similar to this on Twitter a couple of weeks ago before all of this big thing. But anyway, and I think it would behoove anybody who's making hardware to go this route, because consoles are getting expensive, and I don't think people are trying to pay upwards of $1,000, $1,500 on a console. As far as like how I think it would be received if they did something like this, I don't know if the PlayStation community at large would be down with it. I think that in a way, and of course, this is me speaking generally. I might be completely wrong. If you're a PlayStation fan in the chat, please feel free to call me out on my ignorance. I was once a PlayStation and Nintendo person. I haven't really played a PlayStation like that really since the PlayStation 3. Like, I have a PS4, but the bulk of my PlayStation days were from PS2 and PS3. So I haven't been a PlayStation fan heavy for a long time. But I will say that from one thing that I have observed over these past couple of generations is that PlayStation fans, the people who enjoy playing games on PlayStation, have kind of held Sony to the standard. And I do think it's too late for them to go backwards. I don't know if Sony can get away with a device that is underpowered. But then at the same time, I do also believe in diminishing returns. And maybe I don't know, maybe people would be okay with it, because I feel like we're at a point now where graphics are pretty good. I feel like graphics are good. I feel like the thing that we really need to focus on now is better optimization. And now that we have tools like FSR and DLSS and VRR, I think that it's possible to make a device that maybe it doesn't run the best natively, but it has that upscaling and the VRR and everything to kind of bring it up to a standard that people will accept. But yeah, I think it's an interesting idea. And if they did do that and the price is right, I'll probably be there. I'll probably be there to get one. That'd probably be my first PlayStation since the PS4.
Okay.
Seriously?
All right, I got dropped bombs on that one. That was good. All right, come in here, Norris. What's your take, man? What's your take? What you take about what Rich just said?
I think he's considering technology. He's considering the state of the economy that we're in as far as gaming economy. I think he's taking all those things into consideration and keep trying
to set it up so I can't go where I'm going to go. Go ahead, Keith. I see what you're doing. Put them walls up. I'm going to mow them all down. Put them up.
Following Nintendo in this current state is the right move. It's the right thing to do. We're talking about trying to limit budget and trying to be profitable, trying to go all out. With you're looking at the PlayStation 5, the PlayStation 5 Pro, you got people right now with magnifying glasses like, I don't see it. Yeah, don't do that, because you might as well try to play the budget game. being able to tell a beautiful story, a big budgeted game like they like to do, you don't necessarily need all of that. You can just tell the story and make the game with those limitations. Nintendo is thriving in the limitations. So let's see if you can thrive in these similar limitations. But if they made a handheld and they followed in the footsteps, and let's say they went NVIDIA, because I don't think A&D has the tech currently to compete with NVIDIA when it comes to like upscaling. I think FSR 4 is pretty good, but I don't know if they're on the same level. But let's say they went with NVIDIA, this will be a huge challenge for Nintendo, especially in Japan, and getting similar games. So they would be trading blows, but also Sony would do it Sony's way because Sony isn't. They've always copied. You know what I mean? I would argue that the PlayStation is a copy. The whole system is a copy. The K-Bone ain't here, so he can't argue with me. But they've always copied. You think of things like PlayStation Move. You know what I mean? When they did do the PSP and the Vita, they were trying to step into that market that Nintendo had already paved the way. You know what I mean? And Nintendo's basically paving the way for one of the big three to go all handheld. So I think it makes sense. And then what Rich said about keep the PlayStation 5. You can keep your PlayStation 5 and still have your games that push beyond the limits of what a handheld in this current juncture can do. So I think it's the right move, but I am curious to see what Mr. Levelhead is going to say because he sent this to us a few days ago, and he was smiling ear to ear. I ain't see him, but I knew he was smiling ear to ear. So I'm just curious to see what he finna say.
I'm gonna say this: it's not what's said, it's who's saying it. I don't have no problem with anything that Rich said. It's just the fact that it's him saying it. And the reason this tickled me is all the dismissiveness that I personally felt like came from Digital Foundry when it came to the Switch 2. To hear Rich now, because of everything Keith said, because of what's going on in the economy, seeing everything happening, which for me, I've been kind of singing this song for a minute that we are hitting a place where it's not going to be affordable. Now, I'm not going to sit up and say I was Nostradamus and saw that AI was going to have a boom and Trump was going to have tariffs. But I did see from what we just talked about with AAA titles and the cost of those budgets of these games really and seeing companies closing because a game didn't make back what it needed to make to stay open, and then seeing what was trending already with game devices, hardware, with the PlayStation 5, and then seeing what the PlayStation 5 Pro costs. I didn't need AI and the tariffs to tell me we are in a bad space. And so it's just, to me, it's funny that now, because the reality has hit is really forcing folks to open their eyes to really see and address and acknowledge that we are in a bad place. Now, all of a sudden, Nintendo's approach is wise. A Nintendo approach is the way to go when these same people would have laughed and joked about them being late to the party and weak hardware and making up jokes about the DLSS mini or light or whatever Alex called it, and all the snickles and jokes that they had over these years. To hear them now wish and hope that PlayStation has an equivalent and desire for them to go that way, to me, just says you was always impressed with the Switch 2, whether you said it or not. Y'all was impressed with the Switch 2. And that always, as a fan of Nintendo and the Switch 2, that always hit me as kind of low of them not to really give this system its fair praise. And we talked about all these things. So to hear him pivot to this after that long length of time of not necessarily being dismissive of the Switch 2, but the Switch 2 is over there, and we looking at what these more capable systems. We looking at what Sony's going to do, and now to say we hope that they follow, it's just interesting to me. So I'm not mad at what he said. I think it is the best strategy for right now. Nintendo just gave all the employees a raise. Nintendo is not the ones out here cutting studios. Nintendo has been doing great things. I haven't liked everything Nintendo has done. I haven't liked some of the choices with devices, hardware that they made. But looking at where the industry is and seeing what they have been able to do, they do, to me, have the blueprint or the strategy that others need to look at and say we need to do what they're doing for right now. So yeah, I'm not mad at what Rich said. It's just hard. It's just funny hearing him say it and Digital Foundry say accept it. That was interesting to me with all what they have previously said and done. Except for John. John only mad with the screen, but John always showed the love. But Oliver and Alex and Rich, it was always a joke when it came to the Switch 2. So to hear him say this was funny to me. I'm waiting for Dr. Trey to make that video. I don't need to make it. I need him to make it. But anyway, that's all I had to say about it. It was just, how times have changed and how the reality set in that, hey, what Nintendo is doing right now and what they gave to the market is smart and it is affordable and it's going to do what it needs to do. DLSS is helping it out to do a lot of things that we wasn't expecting. That's why I said I haven't felt like I missed anything with the Switch 2. And I think right now they have the best. They have the best hopes for what's going on. They might be the only one that could really survive it. Because I don't know what the PlayStation 6 going to cost. And it's probably too far into research and development to change course. So whatever they made is coming out probably by 2028. I hope they don't have a hybrid and a home console. That'd be stupid. But this is Sony we talking about, so we'll see. Any other thoughts?
Nope.
All right. Nia? I see you muted over there.
Oh yeah. Nope, I don't have any thoughts, no.
Okay. Well, with that being said, that was the cast for tonight. I don't think we had anything else to talk about. Let's keep K-Bum. I need to check and see how things are going. But keep him and his family in your prayers.
Absolutely.
With the family, I don't think it's a surgery that's taking place and he just wanted to be there. So we want to keep him in your prayers. But come on, Nia, go ahead and sign out, ma'am.
First of all, I want to call out your chat because I peeked in on the live and your soundboard was off the whole time and nobody said anything.
My soundboard?
But no sound coming out. We didn't get the only music we got was What You Been Gaming On music, but I didn't hear the bomb, I didn't hear the claps, I didn't hear none of that. Didn't nobody tell you neither. Yeah, y'all ain't real. Y'all ain't loyal for real.
Do you hear
You know
the
how
music?
you can prove.
Do you hear the music now?
Let me see. Let me mute myself and go listen now.
Let me see, because please.
We didn't get the only music we got was What You Been Gaming On music, but I didn't hear the bomb, I didn't hear the claps, I didn't hear none of that.
No, I don't hear none of my music. Okay, so something has altered that I'm going to have to fix, but that's all fine. So let me turn this off. But anyway, that was the Live and Level Gamers podcast. I'm going to let these people sign out. I don't know what's going on. When my computer rebooted, it must have changed a lot of stuff.
Yeah. But you know what? It's not too late to show your loyalty. Y'all wasn't loyal in the chat and let him know that his soundboard wasn't working. But you know what you can do to show your loyalty? You can put a like on the video. You can make sure you share the video and when this podcast goes live, you can comment so that it could help this video in the algorithm.
Yeah, I think they wouldn't have knew if I was playing it or not, so I can't blame it on them.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. Show's not playing. But anyway, go ahead and sign out, Neil. I appreciate that. But no, I can't blame it on the chat. They wouldn't know if I'm bumming or nothing unless I say I'm bumming.
You said I'm gonna put bombs. Didn't no bombs show up? I know Comic Book Crunch be knowing when the cues be coming anyway. You know what? I'm gonna get off y'all though. Y'all ain't real, but you know what? I'm real because I liked it, and I'm gonna share it too later when it go live. All right. Anyway, I'm Nia, the video game her. I no
This
longer
show
make
not coming
content,
through.
so so don't be coming to my channel looking for content. You're not gonna find it. However, I do stream here and there. I recently did live stream Star Fox Online. But yeah, thank y'all so much for coming to the podcast. I know that the podcast was late, but shout out to the people who stuck by and came through anyways. Y'all are the real ones. Y'all are the real ones, the ones that came to check to see. Because I know y'all noticed the absence in your sub box. So shout outs to y'all. Y'all are real. Y'all are loyal. But yeah, thank you for having me on, Level. It's always a pleasure.
Oh, man. It's always a joy to have you on, Nia. I am upset, though. I'm trying to figure out why this stuff is not coming through here. I think I know what's going on. My restream is disabled. It's not lighting up on my. That's what it is. I'm gonna have to go through and fix all this. When Studio One did what it did, that's what happened. So this is Studio One. Is blocked a lot of stuff in here, so I'm gonna have to reboot it. But anyway, that's fine. I'll do that here when I get off and see if I can fix it. Go ahead, Mr. Norris. So it ain't no point in me playing no music. Go ahead, bro. Your floor is yours.
Yes, sir. As always, it is a pleasure to be here. It is a gift from the Lord above. And we thank you. Yeah, man, have a great weekend. Thank y'all for showing up. Everybody be safe. We got, as Nia would say, we got several more sleeps here. I don't know how many, was that 7 days? But anyways, Splatoon Raiders will be out. I'll be playing it. I know some folks won't be playing it because they'll be on vacation and stuff, but I'll be playing it. So I'll be checking it out for y'all. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully I'll be done with Chronos and I'll be starting that other game that I want to talk about as well. So
Okay. All right. Well, this was the Live and Level Gamers podcast, minus the claps, the slaps, the bums, and the drums. But we will be back next week, and I have all this stuff hopefully figured out. But till then, y'all be blessed, highly favored, stay safe. Keep K-Bum in your prayers. Thank everybody that tuned in. Flare Ice, I didn't get you out.